Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial. This is a fairly quick cake. I wish I'd spent a little bit longer on it, and it's one of the characters from Fortnite in one of his skins. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how you pronounce the name for this one. Is it Meowscles? I don't know. I know I will have said it wrong. I'm afraid I haven't played the game, but I wanted to have a go at this character. I thought it looked pretty simple, pretty basic, but I feel like I could have done it a bit neater. So I've already iced a board ready for this, and I've got quite a large board here. I think it was like a 14-inch round cake drum that I'm using. So I iced it in blue. It's like kind of like a sky-ish blue. I'll put links below to everything that I've used. And I just dusted a bit of powder around the edge to make it a little bit darker. Now, I have a print off of it, but it's not to scale. So I've got a 10-inch cake. So I've got a 10-inch cake drum that's fairly thin. And I've drawn a circle around the character's face on my piece of paper so I can see what bits of the circle need removing so that I can do the same on my board. So you can see like the top of his head and around the sides of his head is missing from that circle. So I'll repeat the same on my drum. And then I'm just going to get my 10-inch cake and I am just going to put a layer of buttercream in the middle. Now I've actually used a toasted marshmallow flavour icing for this one. And I've also mixed in a little bit of marshmallow fluff, but I don't think I put much in, so I'm just going to spread a bit on the other piece of cake as well, and we'll sandwich them together. This stuff was pretty difficult to actually spread, and I have no idea what the faces are on my mat. It's this is just a cutting mat I got from IKEA, guys. I think it's something that was maybe designed by children. So I'm going to stick my cake drum to my cake with a little bit of buttercream. So I've put it so the silver foil side is downwards because that's the bit that's going to be connected to the cake. And then I'm cutting off any extra bits that go beyond that board. So remember, we've shaped that board to match our picture. It's a pretty basic shape. I'm not convinced I've got it 100% right. It would have been better for me to print the image off in the exact size of my cake, but it's fine. So I'm going to use my cake offcuts now to build up the area of the face that I want to stand out a little bit more. So I think the mouth area sticks out a little bit more than probably like from the eyes upwards. So we're just going to stick offcuts on there, and then we're going to trim them down a little bit so they slope more into the rest of the face. I'm going to cover the whole thing in buttercream. Now, if you want, guys, you could use chocolate ganache instead of buttercream. Either will work absolutely fine for this. It's not overly smooth at first, but what I'm going to do is run over it with like a flexible smoother. So the flexible smoother is pretty bendy. It just helps me kind of scrape buttercream from things that are a little bit more rounded rather than straight. I'll put links in the description to like the smoothers. I think mine are the Innovative Sugarworks Flexi Smoothers. We want some white eyes, so I'm going to use a circle cutter that we're going to divide into not quite in half, so one half is slightly bigger than the other half. And then the smaller half, we're just going to curl up the inside corner off. Then I'm going to use some black. And we're going to stick them on there, so we're going to need to remove the top part of the black. So once the white is stuck down to the black, which you can do with a little bit of water or even edible glue, I'm going to use some red. And this is an edible food powder. And we're going to put it on so it's darker around the edges of the eye, and we're going to leave it so there's not quite as much in the middle. So it looks a little bit more shaded. You might find it covers the black and we have to kind of just wipe over it with a bit of water where it goes onto the black if the black becomes too red. And we're going to go for pink on our little triangle. I don't actually know what the triangle bit is. You guys that play Fortnite might know better than I do. Okay, so for the fondant to cover the face, guys, I'm going for a dark grey. So I've actually mixed a bit of the white, which is the marshmallow flavour one, which is actually quite nice, with black. I put probably about half the pack of white in with a full pack of the black. It actually didn't lighten it that much. We're going to roll it out and we're just going to cover the whole face with this. So I have had the cake in the fridge for probably 20 minutes at this point, just to firm up the buttercream. So you're going to press it down, smoothing it along the edges. Make sure it's tucked in tight around the bottom edge. Just using scissors to cut the outer edge of like the cheeks where it's a little bit pointier. And then we're going to cut all the extra off from around that bottom edge. Just putting a little bit of buttercream. And then as I do this, I realised that I don't want to stick it on yet because I haven't put the shading on. So guys, finish the face, then we'll put it on the cake board. And the reason for doing it in this order is because when I put the powder on the face, it's going to go out on everything in the background. And because we've got a blue board, the powder will show on the blue. So we're going to put our highlights and stuff on here, and then when it's done, we'll move it back to that board. And I just didn't think about that at all earlier when I was doing it. So I've got some white powder, again, the edible powder, and I'm just looking at the image that I've got of him to see where it looks lighter. And if you want to darken it anywhere, you can use the black edible powder. So I think these are both the fractal dusts that I'm using for this. But again, what I'll do is I'll link the ones that I've used below. You don't have to use the same ones, but at least you can see what I've used. So we're going to stick the eyes in place, and then we're going to draw on a scar. I think it's a scar. I believe it's a scar that runs down his face. And I'm just going to mix some pink food colour. So I'm using these dusts. So I've got white. I'm going to add a little bit of the red to it to create a pink. If you've already got pink dust, you could just use pink as it is. I have actually got a tiny, tiny bit of black in that as well. So it's not like a bright pink. It's quite a grey pink. And we're just going to paint that in the scar line. So you can see it's quite a simple shaped cake. I think this probably decorating it took me about an hour and a half. But I maybe rushed it a little bit. I think I should have spent longer. So we're going to push the mouth in just using the end of our Dresden tool. And then I'm going to use my leftover black fondant to create a little bit of a body. Now, I don't really know much about Fortnite. Just that he's got a cute, I think it's a he, maybe it's not, I'm not sure. Cute cat head and then like a muscular body. Like a muscular human body. Yeah, so I didn't get much of the body on here because I didn't have much space on my board. But I'm just trying to press that around to create the effect of sort of a collarbone, a neck. And they're actually not his shoulders, but they're the, I don't know what they're called, your muscles next to your neck. His shoulders were too big to even fit on. Okay, so we're going to cut some ears for him as well. So 2 triangles, and they're going to sit just up there on his head. If you need to use water to stick them to the baseboard, it's fine. I am just highlighting them a little bit with the white, but do be careful not to get it all over your board. And then he's got that pink triangle that we made earlier that sits in the ear. Because of the angle of the camera, you don't actually see that overly well. But yeah, there he is, all finished. Meowscles. Again, I don't know how you say it. Sorry, guys. If you want to see any other Fortnite characters made in cake, please do let me know. I'll maybe spend a little bit longer on the next one so we can get something a little bit neater and tidier. But it was a fairly quick one if you guys are in a rush for making a cake. This one is one that doesn't take too long. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to check out all our other videos. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and more.